Hello, it's Carla from Law Plans, and I am going to go over a new planner that I am adding to my lineup for 2021. So I'm going to be adding in the Hobonichi Cousin. So this is a planner that has a monthly, a weekly, and a daily. So I chose to add this planner for a couple of reasons. I have been doing time blocking for the past month and a half in my ring system. So I'll show you what that looks like real quick. So I've been using the free printable PDF versions of the Passion Planner because I realized in November that I just really wanted structure back to my day. I was starting to get a lot busier, and I'm doing remote learning with the kids at home, and I really wanted to be more intentional with my time. So I started at the end of November, beginning of December with time blocking and keeping track of exactly what I did throughout the entire day. And so I wanted to try that for a little while and again be more intentional with my time and actually schedule specific times to do things. And so I started doing that here in my ring system, and I realized how much I missed having an hourly. So I loved being able to have the space to determine exactly what I wanted to do after my kids got out of school. This was a week that we were prepping our backyard because we were going to have a lot of backyard stuff done. So I needed to make sure that I got outside and I did all of that prep work. I did have a couple of things later in the evening that I wanted to schedule as well. And so I started doing that in December, and I completely fell back in love with an hourly format. So the downside that I have with the Passion Planner is it starts at 6 a.m. I wake up at 4 a.m. And so granted, I don't have to write down my 4 a.m. stuff, but I'm going to want to try and start a new routine. And so this is the current week that we're on. Well, the week previous, because I'm filming on Monday. But this is the previous week, and I just really honestly love having a space to just get really messy and really intentional. And so I decided that I needed another hourly planner. The downside that I have with rings is it's in rings. That sounds super silly. It's cool that it's in rings because I can add and change my system. But the downside is it's in rings and it's not bound, and I can't keep this. However, because this is kind of my messy space, I don't really feel the need to keep this because it's messy. And so I decided that I wanted to try the Hobonichi Cousin because it had all of the planning systems in one book for an entire year. And for me, the appeal of having something all in one book, in a bound book that I don't have to try and save and keep with rings or switch out every month, was extremely appealing to me. So I knew several people that used the Hobonichis already, and I knew that the paper quality was a lot different. It is a Tomo River paper, and so it is a very, very thin type of Bible paper, which for my purposes for this planner, I'm hoping will not bother me. So let's just do a real quick walkthrough of the planner first. So here you have a 3-year year at a glance. You have 2020, 2021, and 2022. I personally, in all of my planners, I've never really used this year at a glance. I haven't used it in any of my planners really ever. I know a lot of people that do color coordinated dots for paydays, vacations, work days, school activities, kids having out of school type of days. I think that would work on the 2021 because the dates are pretty good size, but I don't think the date dots would work on 2020 or 2022. but you can always use a highlighter or something different to do some color coordinating there. And then the next couple of pages are, I should have done this video before because I already have stuff written down in these next couple of pages. But the next couple of pages are a year at a glance for 2021, and it has a breakdown of every single month and every single day within that month for the entire year of 2021. So I personally wanted to use this for birthdays and recurring days every single year. So I've got family and friend birthdays here. I have reminders up at the top. In May, we have to get all of our jewelry inspected in addition to November. And so I have those. Oops, I forgot to write that. So I have those written at the top. I can also utilize the bottom as well. And so I just have all of my recurring days in here. And then you go into your monthly views. So this planner is a little bit different in the fact that it has all of the months at the front. And then it has all of your weeks. And then it goes into your days. So this is the month of December, and I really just kind of wanted to play around with how I was going to be using my monthly view. I am going to be planning on using this planner as a fully intentional planner for scheduling, time blocking, and probably doing a lot of emotional journaling in here on the daily pages. And so the December, I really just kind of wanted to play around a little bit. I wanted to know what washi would be like on this type of paper. This is a Sarasa Mark-On pen in 0.5, so I wanted to kind of play around with that as well. And you can see here with this particular pen, I didn't let it dry long enough. And when I closed the book, I got a little bit of blotting on this side. And so lesson learned, we just need to make pens dry. And so I've got that, and then I've got my my January view already started. And then I've got all of my months for the entire year of 2021 here. So this is December of 2021, and then you have the next 3 months of 2022, which I actually really like that they include the next 3 months, because a lot of times when you're in November or December, you're already starting to schedule appointments and figuring out school stuff for that next calendar year. So I really like that they have the next 3 months of 2022 in here as well. And then after March of 2022, you go into the weeks. So this is a big part of the reason why I wanted to try the Hobonichi planner. It's a 24-hour time block. It is in military time, which for me personally isn't going to bother me, but it starts at 5 and it goes all the way down to 4 a.m. So there's 24 hours in one day. So this for me, for hopefully what I'm planning on using it for, is going to be perfect, because I can start my day down here at 4 and, put a little dot, say wake up. That first 30 minutes, I want to do my morning routine. I want to make my coffee, empty the dishwasher. So I'm not going to write all of that, but I can just write AM routine. That next 30 minutes, I could read, I can do my breathing techniques, I can do yoga. So hopefully I'm going to be able to assign for my morning routine every 30 minutes something different. And I do want it to change a little bit each day. So at 4:30, I want to do yoga on one day. At 4:30, I might want to do a HIIT routine on the next day for a different type of exercise. At 5, I want to be able to journal or do mindfulness breathing. And so I am going to try very, very, very hard to get my morning routine back. Prior to becoming a mom, I used to wake up at 4 in the morning every morning. I used to brush my teeth, get dressed, and I used to go to the gym and meet a friend at 5. And we used to have a 1.5 hour workout every single morning. And then we would take showers, go to work. And I really miss having that kind of time in the morning to just get all of that stuff out of the way. Since I've become a mom, I have become very slack on that. And especially since I've become a mom who is doing remote learning with 2 children, it has been very difficult for me to find time alone. So because this is a whole 24-hour format, it's going to be really nice for me to schedule all of my morning activities that I want to do, because I have one kid that usually wakes up around 5:45 or 6, and the other kid I have wakes up at 7. And so I really wanted those extra 2 hours that weren't in that Passion Planner time block in order to assign specific things that I wanted to do each morning. And so hopefully that is going to be the intention of my weekly. And then I also have in my Passion Planner daily, I'm going to show you a spread that I haven't really done a whole lot with. So in my Passion Planner daily, this has been what I've been using as my journal and kind of creative outlet and kind of daily to-do list. And so this has been, I've been using this planner for the past 9 months. There is only 3 months in this book. And so I'm going to be able to have all of these daily pages in the Hobonichi for an entire year. And so this daily, I'm hoping to be able to just transfer over to the Hobonichi the exact same way that I'm using this. So like this day, for example, I didn't have a lot going on as far as journaling, but I needed extra space for my grocery lists and notes that I had, things that I was doing in the morning. I had people coming over to give us estimates for the house. My daughter is on medications multiple times a day. So I just need this extra space for a daily for just, again, my messy, intentional to-do list. And so I have been using the Passion Planner daily for that for the past several months. And then yesterday was a really busy day, so I just very quickly jotted down just kind of things that we did so I could remember, so I could kind of journal about it a little bit later. And so I really just needed an extra space to have that as well. So instead of having an additional book for that, I can have all of that right here. So you have all of your weeks for your entire calendar year, and then you go into your days. So this is just, this is called a pencil board because the pages are so thin. You're supposed to use this to put behind the page that you're writing on to keep the page a little bit flatter and more smooth. And so that's what that is. So here's your day layout. So it's extremely simple. It's a grid pattern. You do have an hourly timeline over here. It's from 5 a.m. to 4 a.m. again. So you still have your 24-hour timeline over here. It is obviously much more compact. You don't get those extra half hours. And then you have a 5-square block up here, and then all of this free space down here. So this is a Japanese planner. And so you do have some writing down here. I don't know what it is, but you do have some writing down there. So you get an entire page every single day, including on your weekends. And so I'm hoping to be able to use this space the way I was using Passion Planner Daily as my journal and just kind of messy to-do list type of space. And so those are the hopes for the planner. So you have all of your days, and they are kind of tabbed here a little bit. There is a different color for each month in your daily format, not in your weekly format. So your weekly format, you have all just standard grayscale. So this is a Japanese planner, so it highlights the Japanese holidays and it highlights the weekends as well each week. And so, but during the dailies, you have, like, this is a red, kind of a rust orange, and then you have kind of like a brown, and then you have a purple, and then you have kind of like a salmon. And so there's different color every single month. Personally, I don't think that's going to bother me. And then you go to the back and you have, so it does end on the last day of 2021. And then you have some dot grid pages. only a couple. And then you have some informational pages. So because this is a Japanese planner, I don't know what any of this says. And so I really liked that it had so many informational pages, but I kind of felt like instantly a little bit sad that I was going to lose so many note pages in a planner. So this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is some 32-pound Hammermill printer paper that I have that I use to print off inserts and things for my ring system. And it's like kind of like a silky smooth texture. I really like the way the paper feels. So I cut a bunch of these to an A5 size, and I am going to just glue them in with my double adhesive tape roller. So I just use this. I don't use anything fancy. I just, you know, get it from like even the grocery store has it. So I am going to be gluing these pages in so I can kind of create myself an extra note page. So you do have to be really careful just with, the Tomoe River paper because it is so thin. It will tear very easily. So we're gonna hope to get this right on the first try. Okay, there you go. So there you go. I just made a note page here, and then I will basically repeat that throughout the entire planner. So I'll do another one real quick. All right, so here you go. So I've got my dot grid here, and then I've got my brand new, I made a note page day here. So I will basically do that throughout the entire back end of the planner. I am going to leave this page at the very, very back, kind of not note page, because I do want a page to do some pen testing. And so I have talked to so many people about pen testing in this particular planner and what their favorite things are. So these are the Passion Planner highlighters. I wanted to try these specifically because they are so much more muted in color than the Zebra Mild liners. Now, I knew when I got this planner that I was going to have ghosting, I was going to have smearing issues, I was going to have possible bleed through. And for my hopeful purpose of just the pure intentionality of it and just getting down and getting messy, I don't think it's going to bother me. And so this is a Zebra ballpoint pen that I've had for many, many years. This is what I used to use like years and years ago. I also have several other pens. On this particular paper, I normally highlight first and then write over it, but I wanted to just kind of play around and see the differences in the paper. So a lot of people really like the Tomoe River because it takes to watercolors and it takes to fountain pens really easily from what I'm told. I don't know, I don't use either of those, but it absorbs the ink really well is what I'm told. So here, I did not wait in between anything. I just wrote as fast as I could and then highlighted real quick just to kind of see. And then on these other ones, I wrote and then I kind of put my finger over it. So I am going to keep this page blank just so I can have some extra space to do some pen testing and just kind of play around with some colors. And so like I said, the highlighters here, because they are so much more faint in color, they still ghost. I know you're gonna have everything ghost in this planner, but they are a lot less ghosting. And so I'll go through and I'll finish kind of making my little mock note pages here, and I'll finish that throughout the end of the book. And then I'll be sure to do a video flip through in say February, just so I can kind of show you guys how I've been using it and hopefully how it's been working for me. But I'm hoping basically to be able to combine all of my hourly time blocking I've been doing in my rings, in addition to the to-do list and all of the journaling and stuff on my daily pages. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll work the way I intend it to work, but that is the Hobonichi Cousin that I'm going to be using in 2021. And I actually have a cover for it already. So a friend sent me this a long time ago before I ever even actually had the Hobonichi Cousin. And so this is a Hobonichi brand cover. And so I've been keeping my book in here. And there are no page markers on the Hobonichi, and so the brand covers have some strings added to it as well. And so I can keep one string on the month or the week, whichever I'm going to be utilizing most at that point. And then the other string I can keep kind of on my day as well. It does have a lot of really nice pockets. I do already have a Hobonichi stencil. If you have been following me for any length of time, you know that I am obsessed with my stencils, and I have a ton of the DearLilyDesign Stencils. But I wanted to get this one because I knew that these spaces would be perfectly spaced for the grid pattern that they use, and so I wanted to be able to have these exact icons for this exact spacing. And so I already have that I've stuck in here. And then when I did my Hobonichi order, I got like a little pack of, like a little free thing of stickers, and so I put that in here as well. So I haven't done my full setup of my actual cover quite yet, but it does also have 2 pen loops, and I was so excited about this because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can keep my pen on one and then I can keep my highlighter on the other. And the person who gave me this cover was like, well, Carla, did you notice that the pen loops line up? And I'm like, I did. I thought that was really cool. She goes, but if you put the pen through both loops, you can close your planner. And I'm like, what? My mind got blown into all kinds of little bits that day. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but that is really cool. I like being able to have, the only downside I had with this cover is that it didn't snap closed. And just because I've been using the cocoa paper covers for so long, I'm so used to having either a snap or some sort of closure. But this is it. This is going to be one of my additions to my 2021 lineup. I will be sure to do another video of all of my lineup. I'm still going to be using my MakseLife, and so I will go ahead and do that video a different day as well.